Hello and nice to see you again. Our show in Vietnam today will lead to you here who had success in running small business underfunded by VN Health. And joining us today in that trip, one American who is familiar with us in previous show, Mr. Laurent Datilio, or just call him Larry. So now let's go.
Lawrence Datilio, often called Larry, is an American photographer who came to Vietnam since 2007, joining and directing a microfinance project in Lập Thạch, Vĩnh Phúc province. He has chance to meet and know the life stories and attitudes of Vietnamese farmers, especially Vietnamese women. Today we are going to visit houses of the woman who Larry knows and had some visits in 10 years now. The courage to overcome difficulties as well as good morals of those women had made strong impressions on Larry's mind. Those features kept him staying in Vietnam and remained visit to Vĩnh Phúc province, took photo about daily life and found out about the life of Vietnamese farmers.
Together with Larry, we have just visited some houses of the women in Vĩnh Phúc province who has success in running small businesses in that province. So now we had a very short conversation with Larry about the things, the works that he has been doing till now. Hello Larry, and first of all, could you share with us what brought you to Vietnam at the beginning?
I first came to Vietnam with my wife for both of us to participate in an artist residency program. That program was interesting because we got to know many young Vietnamese artists and could work directly with them.
I can see that you came to Vĩnh Phúc province so many times before, and you met a lot of the women here, and they run a small business in Vĩnh Phúc province. So what do you feel about them, about their capacity?
Vĩnh Phúc is a very interesting province because the women in this province have a reputation for being very hardworking and very good at the type of job that they do. We found out about it through a member of the board of directors of this microfinance program, and we saw many photographs and they were very interesting, and I decided that the next time that I came here I would like to become kind of the, I suppose, sort of official photographer for this program, and that's what first brought us into the business of helping to raise money for poor rural women who would like to start or to build a business they already have. I think the capacity for Vietnamese women is really enormous. We can say that from two different directions. Is the opportunity there for them in business? Yes. The way the Vietnamese economy is set up, which is a kind of a form of capitalism, or own your own business, build your own business concept. Almost anything is possible for a Vietnamese woman to do as a business. It only depends upon their imagination and their passion for making it happen. Such forms of capital in order to build a business, money to help start the business, is available from microloan programs and other sources, including oftentimes family members. So with that is one point. The other point is, what is the inner enormous potential of women? I would say the Vietnamese women in Southeast Asia are very unusual because these women seem to possess a great sense of independence, of thinking, and a great sense of belief in the possibilities for themselves, and yet at the same time serve the needs of most of traditional culture. So they are willing to work hard and have a very balanced life, but I believe that many of them are not afraid and are willing to also see what can they accomplish in the world to which they can bring something very special of their own.
In recent years, Women's project to help each family in economic development and sustainable poverty reduction are strongly implemented with many practical and effective ways. We have to mention the microfinance project for poor and low-income women implemented by the Center of Women and Community Development. This project has been working in 9 communes in Vĩnh Phúc province for the past 10 years and has achieved many positive results. This project brought Larry to Vietnam and had chance to meet the women in Vietnamese countrysides. Starting to join the project since 2011, Nguyễn Thị Bình family is one of the women's family to overcome poverty and do good economic activities. Ms. Bình is an excellent member of the project and was awarded as Typical Entrepreneur 2015 funded by Citibank Vietnam in Hanoi. She reminded 10 years ago her family was in very difficult condition because of having many children and not having any other incomes. She used the loan provided by the project for opening workshops to make hope. Up to now, her shop has been operating very well and expanding production skill.
Em bắt đầu làm thì từ 2011 thì bắt đầu mở. Mới đầu thì cũng kinh doanh cũng nhỏ thôi chị, cũng mở nhỏ thì sau dần thì em cũng mở rộng lên đấy. Lúc đầu thì cũng chỉ đặt một máy thôi. Thế sau thì thấy cái công việc của mình nó phát triển đấy, thì em cũng có xu hướng là mở thêm. Thì bây giờ là tăng là hiện tại là đang 4 máy. Thấy các chị em giới thiệu thì em bắt đầu là vay là năm 2013. Thì lúc ban đầu mức vay thì là được 5 triệu. Sau thì lên đến mức 10. Cái dự án này thì em thấy vay là nó rất tốt ạ, hợp lý ạ. Vâng, tại vì là khi mình trả đấy thì nó rất là phù hợp. Nó nghĩa là nó không có phải là trả thêm nhiều, trả dần theo hàng tuần đấy.
Until now, Mrs. Bing family's economy is stable and her family is one of good business runners in Vĩnh Phúc province. In the initial difficulties, the encouragement and sharing of staff, members and Larry have contributed significantly to her family to have more motivation to escape from poverty and develop strong family economy.
Chị Bình thì là một cái điển hình được cái là nhóm Tài chính vi mô Việt Nam chọn là doanh nhân vi mô Tài chính vi mô Việt Nam năm 2015. Chị Bình là một điển hình trong rất nhiều điển hình của các cô, bởi vì là dự án đã hoạt động là hơn 10 năm thì mỗi năm là có được một chị điển hình chọn cho doanh nhân vi mô Việt Nam phát phần thưởng cho các chị. Có năm 1 người, có năm 2 người. Tuy nhiên thì những cái chị còn rất nhiều chị làm giỏi mà chưa được chọn. Thế cho nên là thông qua các cái mô hình này mà chị em đã phát triển kinh tế rất là tốt. Nhiều chị em đã sửa sang lại nhà cửa, bếp núc rồi mua thêm các cái trang thiết bị về sản xuất.
From the loan of the project, the women in Hoàng Lâu Commune, Vĩnh Phúc province have enhanced the independence of family economy and effectively applied the technologies in manufacturing. In the process of having loan, the women have responsibilities in using the loan effectively. With this loan, the woman invested in raising cattle, poultry, planting fruit trees, running services business, and making traditional works. In 2014, there were 1,607 households overcoming poverty and having stable life, building cultural family and 4-standard family, prosperous, equitable, progressive, and happy.
Vì năm bắt đầu mới đầu vào và năm đầu tiên là chị được vay cái dự án này, là bắt đầu mới có thì chị đã tham gia vào. Tham gia cho đến giờ thì là coi là tóm lại là từ năm đấy đến giờ là chắc là 8 năm đến 10 năm đấy, thì chị vẫn không ra nhóm mà chị vẫn ở nguyên si trong cái đội hình coi là dự án. Nói chung là rất phù hợp cho các chị em buôn bán của chúng tôi, thì hàng tháng, hàng năm, hàng quý, hàng tuần, hàng nói thì là mình cứ trả tiền thì nó tiện cho chị em và phát triển kinh tế cũng tốt lắm, bởi vì là cứ hàng năm thì là cứ giả thì là các chị sẵn cái vốn đấy, một vốn buôn bán thì là nó tiện lắm.
And today we visited Mrs. Bing's house. the typical example of the women that has success in running business in Vĩnh Phúc province. I know that you met her before, so could you share more on that?
I think it's a great example of both technology, culture, traditional customs, and a dream for building a business. It's a very simple idea for many pagodas, for religious observation or spiritual observation and respect for ancestors. It is common at the pagoda to burn a stick that has a powder on it that allows it to produce quite a bit of smoke. That powder is made from rice, which is ground up and treated in a certain way. Mrs. Bing has a couple of machines that help her to mass produce that type of burning object. In the English slang, we refer to that as a punk. But this punk is a very interesting thing, and the odor of it is also great. And I believe that Mrs. Bing has a very good business model that she is pursuing in the manufacture of this product.
What do you view about the characteristic of the women in the countryside of Vietnam, such as in Vĩnh Phúc province that you met today?
That's a great question. I believe that the women in the countryside demonstrate many strong qualities. I agree that in Vĩnh Phúc province they are very hardworking, oftentimes imaginative in how they add or start a new business. And I also think that they try to use as much new technology as they find out about. For example, using a biotic type of fertilizer is an interesting development for them. I believe on the whole these women are extremely capable and well worth support, both from within Vietnam and from the United States too.
I know that you are the photographer and artist from the US that came to Vietnam. So, and all the images of the women in Vĩnh Phúc province that drive you and inspire you to make the exhibition called The Soul of Vietnam. So could you share more on that?
The women in Vĩnh Phúc province, because of their spirit and their strength and their devotion to succeeding with the business, is a very interesting model, I think, for many things about Vietnam culture. Generally speaking, those characteristics of strength and spiritual center and the desire to succeed in what is a changing economy of the world. Those characteristics can be said about a great many women throughout Vietnam, but most certainly the women in Vĩnh Phúc show that just because you're in the countryside does not make you less capable of a very strong type of success.
So how does the characteristic and the soul of Vietnam express through that exhibition?
I think that the exhibition, one of the many things that I'm interested in people understanding, is that it's a general view of specific everyday situations in Vietnam. I think you can learn a lot from looking at what happens every day, how people behave, what they do, what we see about them and their lives and their countryside. And it's a very spiritual moment for me, because at that point I sort of feel like I have been allowed into the depth of Vietnamese culture. And that really has a profound effect on the nature of how we make photographs, and then which photographs we choose to put into an exhibit. So in that sense, the Soul of Vietnam exhibit and the book of that name are quite influenced by the women of Vĩnh Phúc in our microfinance program.
And that comes to the end of our talk show today. Thank you so much, Larry, for all the time that you stick to Vietnam and all the effort that you spend on our country.
It is certainly our pleasure always speaking with you, Leanne. Thank you.
That ends the show today. Thank you so much for watching us. Any comments or recommendations, please send it an email to sharingvietnam@netvietv.net. Thank you and see you again.